Hi, fantasy book lovers, TGIF. This is Thank Gods It's Fantasy Podcast. We are Kayla, Veronica, and Bryanna, three best friends who love talking about all things books. From the romance, the conflict, and of course, morally gray men. Every 2 weeks, we will be getting together to talk about our theories, opinions, and reviews of our current read. Please read along, join in, and be one of our book besties too. Welcome to our show. Thanks for joining us. In this episode, we will be recapping the second book of Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. We would also like to announce a disclaimer that many of the books, including this one in particular, contain strong adult content. We are all adults here, so if explicit language or content is not for you, then turn back while you still can. Fair warning, towards the end of this episode, we will be deep diving into our thoughts and theories for what is to come in book 3. That includes pulling from the Sarah J. Maas universe at large. So if you do not want to hear potential spoilers, please stop listening to our podcast when we get to the theories section. All right, everyone, here are our thoughts about part 1. So, guys, how do we feel about Cormac? Were we surprised that he was also Agent Silverbow? What were your thoughts?
I was surprised that he was Agent Silverbow, but I don't know. I think that in this part I wasn't sure about
asshole prince really well. And so immediately, did not like him. Didn't like that Bryce was going to be forced to marry him.
Yes.
But of course, this is the type of guy that her dad would want her to marry.
Yes.
But then when you find out that he's a rebel, you're like, oh, there is another side to you, because we saw how sweet you were with Sophie. And also, we know how you feel about Sophie.
Yeah.
So, do you really want to wed Bryce? I don't think you do.
No.
So that was, my feelings were kind of there's more to this as soon as I found that out. But I was shocked also. I was not expecting that. I was expecting him to just be some asshole prince that was being shoved 100%. On Bryce.
But did you not think that he would have married her anyway because of the princely duties, because of those things? I feel like most of them try to stick by that regardless if it's what they want or not.
It's the same as Ruhn. They're going to do what their princely duties are because they know that is what it is, regardless of who they actually love. So,
So by the way, I'd like to note that your voice sounds very lovely.
Thanks. I know. I sound awesome, right? Guys, if you are not watching and you are just listening to this, no, it is not a male that we have had guest speak for us. It's me, Kayla. I'm sick, but you know what? This book is going to come out on the 30th and the show must go on. So I apologize in advance that I sound like a dude, but here we are. We're doing it.
I'm
so
kind of here for it.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like you're flirting with us and I'm kind of here for it.
You're going to have to bear with me during my section, if I have to cough or something, but
yes,
it is what it is.
All right, guys. How do we feel about Ithan joining this essential band of misfits, I feel like is what it is now, after he got kicked out of his pack, which also fucks Sabine. How do we feel about that?
I'm glad. I felt really bad for him. And I feel like in the first book, regardless of the fact that, he was an asshole to Bryce after everything, but he was hurting on so many levels from that, from Connor, from her betraying Connor, from finding out what she did after that, to his best friend and his secret feelings for her.
Yeah.
So I feel like we just unfortunately saw the worst side of him. But then all of that happens to him. And for standing up and being a good guy against Sabine, she does this to him. Are you kidding me? I can't remember if I said this in our last episode or not. I normally really like wolf shifters in most of the books that I read. I feel like I usually like werewolves, wolf shifters, whatever in general. They usually have a lot more of a playful side to them. And Bean has made me, and Amelie have made me really not like the wolf shifters in this series. So I'm hoping that Ithan just like turns that around and we can see like the good side of the wolves. Yeah. And yeah, I loved that he was like being taken in and getting new people. And the boys like accepting him, I thought was so sweet.
Yeah, well, and Bryce really was quick to forgive, especially after her grudge with Ruhn. It was refreshing to see her a little more forgiveful this time around.
True. So true.
All right. Any other thoughts about this part before we head into part 2? Are we ready to embark on the next section?
Now, here are thoughts on part 2.
So, one of the things that we learned early on in this part is Bryce and Hunt went to the bone quarter and chit-chatted away with the Underking. Were we surprised, or how did you all feel learning about what happens to the souls there and that they're used as second light? I have a lot of feelings, but I want to hear your guys' first.
I was shocked. Like, this was something that like totally shocked me. Because they have such a beautiful picture of like what their afterlife is, and that they go across on the boat and they make it over there, and like their souls are deemed worthy when really they're deemed worthy to be eaten. Like, they have enough magic to be eaten. And that's the only reason that souls get dumped into the water, is because they don't have enough for them to feed off of. Like, they had this whole picture of like what he had shown Bryce of like the meadows and the green and like all this stuff that is all false.
Okay, I need help because, you know, I don't understand things sometimes. Okay, so the Underking is not part of hell.
No.
Or is he? He's not.
No.
Okay, because that's the part that I didn't understand was, okay, hell also needs second light, or it's just him that needs second light? I just didn't understand like what all that
hell
meant.
is not what we see hell as.
Yeah,
it's not like souls going to heaven and hell. It's that is essentially, think of it as its own realm, like its own world.
Because there's Prince of the Pit, and then there's the Prince of the Chasm, I believe, and then
there's
I thought 7 of them. And for some reason, I just thought that Thanatos, who's the Underking.
No.
Right? No. See? Confused.
No.
All right.
Thanatos is the Prince of the Ravine, which is, I think, level 4. Underking is completely different. Okay. He's just the head of the Bone Quarter. Okay. So he's just a head just the same way as the Autumn King is, or
that's right,
any of the other ones. He is not associated with hell, at least that we are told. And he is like the leader, essentially, I think, of House of Flame and Shadow. Or at least he belongs to that house.
Yes.
And that's who Jessica works for, or answers to.
Apparently.
Okay. Got it.
He doesn't know her by that name. Don't worry, it's in our theories.
Oh, I know we're gonna get there. How do y'all feel about Mordac being Danika's dad? Just
mind blown.
I know we briefly discussed it while you were reviewing, but he's horrible.
Well, no wonder why she didn't want anything to do with him.
Oh, 100%. I do not blame her at all.
But like, how did Danika become Danika with 2 shit fucking parents? But I like, okay, that happens. You can still be a good person with horrible parents. But I'm like, oh my gosh.
I think it helps that because Danika's a wolf, they're in a pack, right? So it's not just her and her mom, right?
Yeah, totally.
So
I think that probably helped a lot of it. Like they're
and I mean, the Prime seems to be a good person, so
agreed.
Maybe we just took after him.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that Mordac didn't stay in like with Sabine, because I feel like in a pack they have that loyalty that they just kind of like stayed. I don't know. I just felt like
he wasn't a part of her pack.
I know, but I feel like that would have been part of it. This was a one-time
thing.
I don't know. I think he's such a horrible person. He would happily peace out.
Peace out.
I get the impression that this was like, I don't know. I don't know that if it was arranged, but I feel like if it was arranged, it would have been arranged just by Sabine and him, not by the Prime.
Yeah.
Or it was a one-off, like he was in Lunathian and this happened, and she's a strong female and he's a strong male, and Sabine's sadistic enough that she was like, fuck it. Or it was not consensual.
Yeah. I mean, it really could be like the Autumn King, where she was seeking for more power. I mean, knowing her, that could track.
There are no males that, or at least like it doesn't seem like there are any males that were on a level that she wanted to have an heir with. So, and his bloodhound abilities, I mean, that's significant.
For sure.
Do you think he kept it secret too, though? Or do you think everybody knows?
I think it's well known.
It seems like people are more aware of that one.
At least within the wolves.
True.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that it's like advertised, but it seems like the wolves are aware at least. Guys, Bryce and Hunt finally had actual sex. What? It only took book 2, part 2 to finally get to this moment.
Like the end of part 2.
Correct. Not even
damn near like 300, 400 pages into it.
It was good.
Yes.
It was good. Yeah, I glossed over it.
I loved the build up. I love personally that they are mates. I'm always into a mate situation. It just
I hope it's true though, because
she's confirmed it.
I don't know.
Yeah, Sarah J. Maas has confirmed it.
Yeah,
she verbally has confirmed
that's
it.
Good. Oh, that's good then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And didn't she make a comment like she wouldn't break that one up or something?
She's a happily ever after writer, even though a lot of people die. But like as far as couples go,
once they find their mate, they're happily ever after kind of thing.
Yeah, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. Out of all the couples in this world, them I feel the most uneasy about, of like not being certain about their future. Not that they're like gonna break up or anything, obviously not their mates, but like I am so worried if something's gonna happen to them,
like they're gonna be star-crossed and never like be together kind of thing.
No, like someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
just have an uneasiness about them that I have not had with any of the other mated couples.
I don't like it.
I know. Makes me
so just sad. Not kill any of these beautiful main characters that I love.
Okay, but if they go back into the other series and start killing people off that are important, I'm like,
we can do.
You know,
tell me, Kayla.
Yeah,
you know what I'm gonna do. You know,
we know.
No. Pass. All right. I feel like it's really after your section, Veronica. We're just gonna get in.
I know.
Next, we get into part 3 and our thoughts and theories for Crescent City 3.
We'll break up the ending a little bit because there's really just so much that happens there. In regards to the Asteri, how do we feel about everything we learned in regards to that? Because so much is unveiled as far as who they are, what they do, all the things. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings?
They're leeches.
Yes.
They're literally leeches. I don't think that those are their bodies. I think they are leeches inside of said bodies, because, I mean, they kind of say that was his chosen body, was the body of a
17-year-old boy.
Younger boy, that are literally just like world conquerors that go from one community to the next looking for a world that has fae or whatever, rich in magic, so that they can siphon it off.
And but they did make the point not that I'm agreeing with it. He's like, what's the difference between you and me? I feed off first light. You feed off the land. Why is, like, he tried to make it so that she could see his point of view. You kill animals and you eat them. You plant things and you eat those. And you're also looking for fertile land that will, you know, give you life or replenish your, sustain you and stuff like that. So
yeah, but they're also like conquering worlds and then decimating them if they're not what they want.
Yeah, like one of them didn't taste good and was like,
or they went to one where the adults didn't taste good, but the children did. Yeah, and they only fed off the children.
Bleh.
Well,
nope.
And
fucking
I just
leeches.
Don't imagine on all these worlds that they consume this energy the same way they are here. So here, I mean, they have a whole grid system and it's been modernized, but what were they doing before? Did they have to, I'm just trying to imagine it had to have been different. So there must be another way for them to leech off someone's power. And I imagine that more than often kills them. So I guess I appreciate that this way kills a lot less people, but still really fucked up.
I mean, they still get it, though. Once it comes back in Second Light, they're still eradicating their soul.
But they were trying to make it seem like it's okay, right? So they're like, you make the drop, you give us your first light, and in return, we give you a long life. And then that's how they were trying. Not that.
Yeah. But then they also would have gone to a peaceful resting place. No. And they took that from them. Because then they are just going back to being food. So they're, you get a long life, but all they're doing is raising their cattle literally for slaughter. Rather than them having that peaceful resting place that they would have had before they came here.
Yeah.
And not even that. It was only humans here before the rift.
Yeah.
It was humans and regular animals before the rift. Fae did not exist in this planet.
Yeah, they brought them in.
I guess, what was the lure? What did they say out there that, like, hey, come over here, this place is better? Like, what made this place so great that people wanted to come over? Do we know?
Not entirely.
Is it like the Promised Land and people just kind of
like the Promised Land? Yes, but I will get into in the theories of
okay,
who, where, what, when, and why.
I love it. I can't wait. Okay.
How do we feel about Bryce ending up in Prythian? Like, what?
Okay, I don't know about you guys. Some people caught on to that so fast. Like, knew where they were at. I did not fucking know.
I didn't know.
Until
Rhys said something? Yeah, that's the only time I knew.
I don't know if it was all the way until Rhys. I think I caught on maybe when Feyre came in and they were talking about her tattoos and I was like, what the actual fuck? Because I'm like, oh, okay, like hell's not as bad as it's supposed to be. Like, okay, they got like hot guys down here with their wings and whatever. Like, I mean, how often it's kind of like the Night Court. It's presented as like this horrible place, but it's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, cool. You get some nice demons down there.
And I don't, mind you, again, I'm trying to remember back to when I first read this. I remember reading it so fast, too fast, that I didn't pick up on a lot of details. So it really did take me till Rhys was like, oh, hello. I was like, oh shit. Oh, okay, better reread that. I clearly missed out. Weird. Whoa.
Yeah, I went back and reread it.
Yes, but I don't know that I necessarily, as soon as she started describing it, I didn't really think she was in hell. I think I thought she ended up somewhere else. I just wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah, no, I fully believed that she was in hell. And I was like, oh, interesting. Hell seems nice.
That's what I thought, that she was in hell. And I was just like, okay. Because that's where they said she was going. And so I didn't even, again, my mind doesn't go to things. I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come to find
Oh
out,
my
hell has
gosh.
nice houses and pretty lawn.
Right, and really hot guys with wings.
Yeah.
Love. All right.
I cannot.
Did you guys expect Agent Daybright to be the Hind?
Oh, I'm trying
No.
no,
No.
but
Hard no.
I feel like I got suspicions there at the end, but it was not like maybe after the equinox I might have gotten suspicious, but no. Wouldn't have guessed it was going to be her.
And it's interesting, especially since we had to scour this book to really go through a recap, how this very subtle little clue she gives to this.
Yes.
Because there really are a few, but they're very subtle. She really didn't want you to necessarily pick up that it could have been her. And even all the way back to the prologue where she drops the
little stone thing.
To signal the book. I she's genius. I can't. Sarah J. Maas, you're too much for me. I can't
but how sad is that, you guys? How sad is it that the Hind dropped the stone and threw Sophie in the water, thinking that this stone was going to save her? She's like, this is X marks the spot. Put it here. She's gonna be here. And they didn't get there fast enough, and she.
Well, and that's why the Hind was so surprised. Like, when we get to that part later, she was genuinely surprised to find out that she was dead, and it's really because she thought she got saved.
Yeah.
I think that's so sad.
It is so sad.
So, of course, Ithan, doing his own little thing over here, goes to release the wolf from the astronomer. Do we think, how do we think this is going to play out as far as her alpha ability rivaling that of Sabine? Do we think she's going to be the one to take over? Do we think it's going to be Ithan? Do we think this could be Ethan's mate? Because I'm kind of here for that potential. That's a very clear sidebar, it being the epilogue. So I think it's going to be a big thing that comes in play, either in this next book or book after. God only knows with Sarah J. Maas. But what are your guys' thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm always here for mates because
that's where I want.
Love that. So I would love for Ithan to have a mate so he can obviously not be hung up on Bryce, because it makes me sad for him to be sad. I'm hopeful. Once again, I feel like Sarah J. Maas, even though she puts her characters through hell, doesn't usually leave them in a shitty situation. So I just can't picture her leaving them with Sabine as their answer.
Agreed.
But I just feel like this mystic, she's been in that freaking pool since she was 4. She could be 100 years old. She made the drop.
Yeah.
No one knows. She could be so old. She's frail. She's all these things. It's going to take a lot.
There's got to be no muscle to her either, right? She's got to be.
Unless she has an ungodly amount of power, which she could. She's a mystic.
I'm kind of sure for that.
I don't know what that translates to anything else.
I agree.
So I hope so. I mean, and maybe she doesn't want to rule, but maybe she will with Ithan by her side, because he actually would know how to run a pack and all of that. But I kind of feel like the Prime would be here for it too. Just saying.
Agreed. Very much agree.
I have
with
a question. So, how does one become a mystic? Because I guess I missed this part, or they probably talked about it. Anyway, did she have a mystic-y power? And then that's how they sold her to the astronomer? What is that power?
Yeah, so her power, it's being able to see into the cosmos. It manifested when she was 3. And she was in the tub by the time she was 4.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
They said, I still miss things, even though I just read it.
And she had, 10 siblings?
Yes.
9 or 10 siblings?
But wasn't she the oldest?
No, it's just he says, she was an alpha. I guarantee they probably saw that by the time, if she's this dominant, they probably saw that. And then he goes down the thought process of oh my God, did they send her here because she was a threat to her parents to be alpha of their family. Like, she would have taken over her family someday, regardless of what her order is within them. So he kind of like goes down that little like.
Do you think, because they said that she wasn't part of a pack anymore, so wouldn't have been like the prime thing. So do you think that they probably sent her there to like keep her safe from Sabine, because Sabine had kicked the brother out?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think he could go any way. She said her family was extremely poor. They had 10 kids. She was alpha. She maybe was extremely dominant from a very early age. Now she's a mystic. She's a huge threat to Sabine. 100%. And Sabine had already beat him, her older brother. She's very powerful. So
yeah. And he was the prime apparent before. So I mean, yeah. So there could have been. Yeah, I would like to think that it was for safety rather than
they
them
just needed money.
Just needing money and dropping their 4-year-old off there, because I literally can't imagine. But
yeah, that hurts my soul. I can't imagine.
Yeah, but also
like, sorry,
to this creepy guy.
8 of you.
Yeah, but like to this creepy guy that is now going to use her to go down into hell and
he tortures her.
He tortures her with them.
Asshole.
I just hate him. He is someone I would happily see die.
There are theories about him too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm sure, because I mean, we just don't know that much about him, so I just big question mark.
Yeah, and Ariadne's like, don't believe that Frail act. He is an ancient sorcerer.
I know. I want to know how old he
knows
is.
him.
Yeah.
I mean, the talk is that he could be Koschei, which is the sorcerer from Akatar that keeps the young girls. He makes the human queen into a firebird, and he lives at that lake, but he's contained to that lake. But he was he's one of the like ancient death gods. And he's a sorcerer. So some people believe that he's Koschei and somehow can cross over or whatever. I don't know that I believe that, but they say that even Jessica doesn't like mess with him. So he's powerful.
Clearly, very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Also, I would love to highlight that Cormac gives his life for his cause.
I know.
And I just felt very sad. But then part of me was hoping, regardless of the whole second light bullshit, that at least he has a moment with Sophie over there. Like, I'm hoping their little souls unite just so they can have this at least brief moment of peace, that they gave their life doing what they could to make the world a better place.
Well, and maybe we can hope that Bryce will take the Asteri down and get rid of the Bone Quarter, and they can live happily ever after in their field of green.
I
somewhere.
want that so bad.
I know it.
Other sidebar. I love that Bryce just was secretly chatting with her mom via postcards to get a meal to essentially be her new little stepbrother. I loved all of that so much. Did you guys see that coming? Like, how it played out?
No.
Because I was shook that that's what they were doing with the postcards.
No. Didn't. I mean, another brilliant thing that Bryce does. You know what I mean? Like, she's just so smart. But also, she does nothing by halves. She's like, oh, this boy needs a family. You are my family now. You are now my little brother. And the fact that, like, Randall and Ember just, like, accept him in, and they're so excited. She gets his room ready.
Yeah.
When she calls, he's already out hunting with Randall, and Bryce knows what a good life he's gonna have, and like they're gonna change his life and make it better. I love that.
Well, and it really did seem like Ember genuinely wanted another child, even though they made no reference up to that point. She was just so happy to have another child.
Well, she called him a gift. She's like, thank you for this gift.
I know.
I just loved it so much. It was so sweet,
And
so
for this-
endearing.
And this poor boy who's been at a death camp, he's seen his family get killed. He's seen his sister get killed. He's been chased. Like, he's had just a horrible, horrible life for the most part. So I just, I think it's beautiful. And I love them even more for it.
I agree. It was such a tender moment.
I know.
Baxian and Danika, everyone. I mean, what?
We need that story.
I can't.
Kayla and I were talking
guys.
about this, how we need
I had
Danica's.
a whole conniption rereading of this again for I don't even know how many times. One, I went up on my little pedestal and was like, why do we not talk about Baxian more? Of all the characters in this freaking book, why do we not talk about him more? Talk about a change, a full 180 from what he was. Because we know that he was as bad as Hunt, if not worse. Maybe, who knows? He used to enjoy doing whatever. We don't know. But Danika came into his life and completely changed him. He changed who he is because of his mate. And you can feel how much he loves her.
Yes.
Feel how much he is looking out for her people because he's doing it for her. And also, we talk about over and over again that Danika did not tell anyone anything. She did not tell Bryce any of this. Baxian knew everything. She told him everything. She kept nothing from her mate. Not her best friend that literally could have been like a friend mate. They were so close.
Yes.
No,
Absolutely.
She told him everything, and they were only together for 2 years.
And not even that, you guys, they didn't see each other on a daily basis.
No.
They could only meet in secret once every 2 months or something like that. And even then, it was still so hard. So just the fact that she shared so much with him. And
I need that story. I know I said this in the last, but I need this story so badly. I know that we know how it ends, but I want to know the time they met, what happened, what they did in those 2 years, her going through all of this. We thought she was doing all of this alone, and she really wasn't. She had him who she was talking to about it, and he was helping her, and she wasn't alone. And I just need to know. And like seeing her having the two sides of her and him having the two sides of him. Like when he went back to Sandriel and she went back into Lunathian with, faking like Thorn is who she had this forbidden kind of like thing going on with that they never acted on. No. I just love it.
Yeah.
I know. I really think she could come out with
one of my
at
favorite
least
parts.
a novella at some point and just give us a little snippet into that world, because I just think it would do so much for us.
Someone
as
should
readers.
start a petition and we should
I was
all
gonna
sign
say,
it.
you read my
She's
mind.
like, I'm on it right
I'm on it. Actually, already writing it.
now. Yeah, writing the
I'll put
petition
your names
now.
down. Anyone who's listening, come at me. You can sign the petition. I know you want to read that too.
Oh my God.
All right.
I love them.
I know. So, what do we think about Celestina? Do we think she's really good? Does she really have these pure intentions? Could she really be bad? And she's just been faking this genuine connection with everyone. What do we think? Or is it just because she wants to save Hypaxia? Because I think they're mated the way she was acting with that whole.
Ooh, yeah, she got real glowy.
Yeah,
she was
very
ready to.
similar to how
She was
Hunt
ready.
responded.
Yes, she was.
I think they're mated.
Ready to F him up.
I think she's good. I want to, in my heart, I want to say she's good because I don't want to see that she's a bad person, because she was on Shahar's side and she said that she tried to buy Hunt to save him from Sandriel and stuff like that. I feel like deep in my heart that she's a good person.
Yeah.
Does she always make the right choices? No. But there's the Asteri. There's only so much you can do. They're the people to like be afraid of, if anything.
Yeah.
And then the reason why she like told them that Hunt did not go to Bryce's parents' house and that he actually was part of that whole, not raid thing, but when the Ophians got defeated for a little bit.
Yeah.
But she told the Asteri in hopes that if her and Hypaxia's relationship was ever revealed, then at least they would have that and not hurt her. That's how I want to keep it in my brain. I don't want to think negative, but
well, yeah, and they very much so let on that they know about Hypaxia because they're them. They know everything.
Yeah, how do they know?
I mean,
seems like
I think they have, who knows, cameras everywhere. Who knows?
They're omnipotent.
Are they omnipotent?
Oh my god, I hate you guys.
Omnipotent?
Omnipotent, you fools.
Omnipotent. I do think she's good. I think she made a very bad decision, and I think she doesn't realize that Hypaxia is involved and was helping these people. And I think she is inadvertently going to hurt the person she loves because she thought she was saving them and thought she was making the right decision, and she chose the wrong side. I'm upset with her about it, but I want to really think the best of her because I do really like her, and I think that she's better than her choices that she made. Or at least I really hope so for Hypaxia's sake, because she deserves.
I agree.
The world.
She deserves. Yes, she's so sweet. I love Hypaxia.
Do you guys think that Ruhn and Lydia are mates?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
They've already alluded to it.
Yes.
I know that she smelled like it, and they haven't really like physically touched, just mind touched.
No,
only in the dream, the mind.
In the bridge. Yeah, in the
I
mind.
know, but I feel like
in this thing.
I feel like it counts.
They mind fuck.
They say they can feel each other.
I know, but like, even in my dreams, I feel like I can feel someone stabbing me when I'm having a nightmare. Like,
really? Slightly different. What? But they say the scent on her is very faint, so I don't know if they consummated the deal in the actual world
enough,
if it would intertwine more. But hopefully this will at least keep Pollux out of the loop.
Well, and he keeps he's drawn to her, she's drawn to him. He makes a lot of things of how he's changing internally in regards to her, and then the scent thing. Yeah. So I 100% think that they are mates. Also, I think that Lydia is going to be able to talk to Bryce through the comm while she's in Lunathian. I think she's going to be able to talk to her.
I think so too.
All right, Kayla, are you ready to unleash your theories beast within you? Everyone, turn back now if you do not want any potential spoilers. We are going deep into theories time.
Oh shit! Here we go.
It's
ready.
Theory time.
Theory time.
I got my snacks. I'm ready.
It's Kayla's favorite time. It's Kayla's favorite time. Okay. Theories. So the first person that we're going to talk about is the Underking.
All right, lay it on
So
me.
we describe him as a voice that's simultaneously ancient and youthful, cold but dry. He's 10 feet tall, rich black velvet robe draping to the ground. Darkness swirled all around him. He's a desiccated corpse. He has a lipless mouth with brown teeth that are half rotted. And he's crowned with gold jewels. He's hideous, but regal. He looks like a long dead king of old left to rot in some barrow who had emerged to make himself master of this land. So this reminded me of two things. One, the Surreal. He looks just like the Surreal. So could they be related and also kind of all-knowing creature? Mm-hmm. Two is the Barrow White. So in Throne of Glass, Aelin has to go into the Barrow White mounds in Air of Fire, and they are these mounds that are from princes of old, royalty of old, are put here with all their jewels and stuff, but they are locked behind iron doors, which iron holds in magic. So were these magical princes of old? And then one of those doors in that scene when Aelin's walking through is open. So I'm curious if maybe he is a barrel white,
Would escape to
or
this
if he's
world.
not a white specifically,
Mhm.
if he is one of those long dead kings that somehow got through one of the rifts and then just established himself there to feed off of souls. So that's my theory about him. Next, we go into Hunt.
Okay.
Is Hunt Thurr resurrected? Or is Thurr his father?
Who's Thurr?
So Thurr...
He's referenced
So on page
several
96,
times in this book, but it's
many
small
times.
references.
So, very small references. Bryce examines a 9,000-year-old bust of Thurr, a nearly forgotten minor storm deity. All that remained of him in their current culture was a planet, a very giant planet, and then Thursday was named after him. Thurr to Therian was an ancient demigod, and then Fury calls him a thunder god. On page 478, Bryce says Bryce couldn't help but marvel at the sight of him, like a god of lightning, like Thurr himself. Lightning wrapped around Hunt's head, like a crown, making of Hunt an anointed primal god.
Ooh.
Hunt's eyes, pure lightning, filled them. No whites, no irises. Nothing but lightning. It snapped around him, vines wreathing his arms and brow. So he's literally like a lightning god. So Thurr, we think, because in the depiction in the CCB is Thurr, like I read in the thing, him holding up a hammer, Thor, and what he's actually going to do is shoot his lightning down through a sword. The sword is actually what he's imbuing his power into.
I'm getting it.
So we believe that Thurr forged Gwydion. Gwydion is the ancient sword in Akatar that has been missing. It says a powerful female stood poised above an anvil, hammer raised skyward in one fist, lightning cracking from the skies, filling the hammer and flowing down toward the object of the hammer's intended blow, a sword. According to Rhys, Gwydion was imbued with a Fae's like natural nature power. Back in the day, Fae had power from the earth. It was a lot more natural in its way. So I think that Thurr might be his father, and that Gwydion is the Star Sword. Yeah. And Thurr made the Star Sword.
No, so, I agree. I like this theory a lot. And she just made way too many subtle references to Thurr that clearly somehow, whether it be his father, whether it be whatever it be, I think there's some relation to Hunt. For sure.
Yes.
And I'm excited.
He doesn't smell like an angel.
Yeah. I think he's a demigod.
He's a demigod. I think he's a demigod. Who knows who his mother was? Maybe it doesn't matter. But maybe he's a demigod that was made by Hel, specifically because he has a power that can take out the Asteri.
Yeah. That could be interesting, especially since Adis is very intrigued by him.
Yes. And Adis mentions that Jessica knows his father.
Yes.
So who's Jessica? Well, people believe that Jessica is the priestess Oleana. She knows Hunt's father, if that's Thurr, because she dipped the sword into the cauldron. So after Gwydion was made, it was dipped into the cauldron by the priestess Oleana during its crafting. So she would know Thurr from being there and doing that. So they would have then been together in Prythian. She also mentioned seeing Bryce as like seeing a ghost when she does her Starborn powers. So I think she's thinking about Thea, because Adis and her were talking, and Thea was obviously Adis's lover. Also, we know that Jespa is not her real name. When Bryce asks the Underking about Jesperoga, he answers, I do not know her by that name, but yes, I know her.
Was that really him, though, or was that Rigulus? Because remember, he pretended to be one of the Underkings, or one of the people.
Rigulus pretended to be Adis.
Adis only.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I thought it was someone else.
Nope,
No,
just Adis.
He only pretended to be Adis as the cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's possible that Jespa is the priestess Oleana, and that's how she knows Hunt's dad, if Hunt's dad is Thurr. And then she helped make the Star Sword. The Star Sword went missing in Prythian. They thought that it had gotten thrown into the water, but who knows?
She
Did
brought
Jespa
it with
bring
her
it over
with the library.
Did it come
or something?
Yeah, but did it come over with the Fae when they crossed over? I'll get to that. But I think that's why she knows him. So I think she's actually more like 16,000 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
No, I think
cow.
she's old.
Which is why she has all those books too.
Yeah.
Because priestesses, what they do is they, like, the priestesses are who run the House of Winds library. Like,
do you think
that's
Bryce
why
is a priestess? Unknowingly? Like, did she become one when she worked for Jespa?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Because they have to go through like a whole thing, and then they have to wear their little star on their face. But she has a star on her chest. So hey, the 8-pointed star is what's on their head. So maybe
I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm intrigued. I like that. My other theory back in the day was that Jespa is Maeve, because Maeve was a known world walker. So, and she's scary and has all those powers. So, Dusk's Truth, Dusk and Dawn. So, an island of permanent twilight where Bryce's form of Fae came from. Only a select few from her world could shift into their animal form. So, Bryce's form of Fae came from Prythian. They say that the island that the prison is on used to be beautiful. That's where, like, the Pegasus used to live. And it's between the dawn and the night court. So, dusk. And so they say that it was an island that lived in perpetual twilight. So it's possible that her form of Fae came from that island, which is the prison. So maybe the prison is actually hiding the portal that takes you from Prythian into Midgard. Or there's a gate somewhere in the prison. We already know that the Asteri have a gate into the night court. The island is like 20 miles or whatever. Like, it's not far from the night court, like specifically from Valaris. So it's very, very possible that that is where her Fae originated from. Also, in that specific world, only a select few could shapeshift into their animal form. The only people that can shapeshift into their animal form are High Lords in Prythian. All of the High Lords have an animal form, other than Tamlin. Tamlin can shapeshift, but that's a part of his magic. So, not like the other Fae world. Where the other Fae from Midgard that Rigulus talks about, this form of Fae all had an animal form, and they would only turn into that one animal. And it was like a multitude of them. And that's where the shifters all came from, because all shifters were Fae. So that group came from Throne of Glass world.
That's what that means?
Yeah.
Because
that's
in
why
Throne
you
of
need to
Glass,
read all of them.
Yeah. Because in Throne of Glass, Rowan, his cabal, all of them have very specific animals, and they can only turn into that specific animal. And those Fae are the pure Fae, not the demi-Fae, but they're the pure Fae. Are from ancient bloodlines within that world that have not been watered down, I guess, if you will, and they all have their animal form. So Danika and the rest of the shifter fae, I think, came all from Throne of Glass.
Oh. Even the dragon?
World. The dragon's not a shifter. They very specifically say that she is not a shifter.
Oh,
she's more like a mare where she just has that other form, but it's not a shift.
Okay.
But they did say that the mare originated from the world that the shifters originated from.
Got it.
So then, yes. So those are our two worlds. That's how we're connecting. As obviously, this is all theories, guys. None of this has been proven.
This is what we think is to happen.
And all of it I could be absolutely wrong on so many fronts. But, okay.
But I'm here for the thoughts.
Let's get into Ruhn and Cormac. So Ruhn's cousins in Avalon can read thoughts. They enter a mind, not just speak into it the way that Ruhn does. Just like a Daemati does. Ruhn's mind speaking was a rare gift of the Avalon Fae, inherited from his mother's bloodline. Also, him and Cormac both have shadows. These are very specific traits that are similar to Fae in Prythian, specifically the Night Court. They have a lot in common. So, Thea and her two daughters, Helena, which means light, and Nyx was her other daughter, which means night, which is also who Rhys named his child after, found out that the Asteri had an access point into their world. But it was too late for them because their people had already gone over to Midgard. They got lured there not knowing that this was their old enemy. Thea's second daughter escaped into the night, never to be seen again. Did she go back to Prythian? When Nesta drums the harp, she gets a flashback of people locked behind stone, screaming, trying to get their children back through solid stone that was not there before. So they were stuck in Midgard. So she got a vision of when the harp and the horn were used, trapping everyone in Midgard. Thea's second daughter, Nyx, is the person who used the harp last. So the horn is the fourth dread trove. Rigulus says that Bryce will undo the actions of one ignorant princess 15,000 years ago, which is when the rift happened. So, Thea's second daughter, she's the last to use the harp. Did she then close all the gates? I think she closed all the gates, including all the gates to hell, locking herself in Prythian, and is likely an ancestor of Rhys. The Fae trapped in Midgard, specifically the Avalon, are kin to those in the Night Court. And they still dress old-fashioned like that. They maintain true Fae traditions. These are also the people that Bryce's star glows for. So does her starborn power and horn recognize those who are ancestors of Prythian Fae, just like Ruhn and Cormac? Which the Asteri confirms they recognize starborn Fae. So the ancient people who were like taking over Akatar before the courts were established, before the High Lords, all of that, the Daglin ruled over Akatar world, over Prythian. I believe that they're really the Asteri, because it says they drank the magic of the land like fine wine. So High King Fionn stepped up to stop them with Gwydion, and he was later betrayed and killed by his queen, who ran another territory, who I think was Thea, and his general, who was Peleus.
Interesting.
Interesting.
They went on to take the heirlooms of his house, aka the Star Sword and the horn.
Yeah. I need the third book.
I mean,
I need it so bad.
Like
wild,
right?
At least.
Thank goodness we're getting this book late, like in
a week. Yes.
I know.
Agreed.
God, I hope we get some of these answers because I cannot.
Your theories will go on overdrive if not.
I know. So that's how they all came in my mind. I thought it was just interesting that they described Apollyon appearing as a golden-haired and skinned beautiful body, whatever.
Yeah.
This is very, very similar to how the Vogue kings in Throne of Glass presented themselves. They were always as a golden-haired, golden-skinned, beautiful male. They call the princes demon princes, just the same as those from the Vogue are from a land of darkness. And they came together to war against everyone else. So I'm like, is hell really, are they Vogue?
Yeah. And they really still have a way into that world as well. Like,
yeah. Or are they Asteri Vogue? Because Vogue were parasites. Like that's how they're able to get them out. Is they determined that Vogue were parasites, and they were actually able to heal people of Vogue infestation in Throne of Glass. So, like,
oh my God,
are they? I don't know, guys.
I haven't read Throne of Glass, so I don't know.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you need to read that, like, ASAP, girl.
Into the epilogue. Fury and Amryn. I always kind of thought that Amryn was a god from another world, so, like, I instinctually think that she's an Asteri, because she talks about her brothers and sisters and how they were, like, lifeless, had no respect, had no emotion, whatever, and that's what drew her into the Fae, is she liked that they lived these, like, beautiful lives and actually cared about things. She takes the form of a certain Fae line, so maybe it's Fury's line. I don't know. I don't see Fury as an Asteri, just because Amryn so very specifically looked other. Like, she was, like, people knew she had scary power, and she was trapped in the prison that whole time. So I don't really know their connection. That one's still stumping me. I kind of cross over a little bit here. When Amryn sees the Star Sword, she says Gwydion. Looking at it, she says Gwydion, so that kind of confirms that it is Gwydion. So it's been hiding in Midgard this entire time when they thought it was lost. The Star Sword can also kill the unkillable, just like Gwydion did, because Gwydion took down the Daglin. Amryn claims that no one has spoken the language of the Old Fae in 15,000 years, which is exactly when the rift happened, and Thea and her daughter / Peleus crossed over into Midgard. When Bryce sees Rhys, she thinks it's Ruhn. So are they related through his Avalon kin that crossed over?
Oh.
Or did Tamlin really kill Rhys's mother and sister? Or did he fake their deaths and send them into the sparkling lake that's in his court that's actually a portal into Midgard? His sister and mother get established with their Fae kin in Avalon. Either his mom or his sister have children. And Ruhn is a descendant of that line, which would explain his shadow and his Daemati powers, though they do seem watered down compared to Rhys.
Yes.
But maybe his mom or grandmother or great-grandmother or whatever is actually Rhys's sister. Because she would have been a child when she was murdered.
I'm shook. I definitely think they're related somehow. I just can't wait for it to be confirmed how. Because, I mean, the fact they're practically identical, like, that is a dead giveaway that there's some sort of relation.
Well, and they have the same powers.
Something. Yeah. Oh, yes. 100%. Like, there's some connection there. I just want to know what it actually is.
Well, and, like, everyone thinks that they're gearing Tamlin up for a redemption arc. Well, if he didn't actually kill Rhys's family.
That makes him a little more redeemable.
But also then, like, Rhys went and murdered the F out of his family. So, like, oops, I didn't actually kill yours, but you killed all of mine.
Yeah, but also his family kind of
his brothers were assholes.
So, I don't know that I feel that bad about that one.
Going off of Tamlin. So Tamlin is described as having long golden blonde hair, deep green eyes with gold flecks. Adian in Throne of Glass is described as having similar hair, turquoise, and gold eyes. Lysandra is described as having emerald green eyes. He wears the colors of Terrasin. He has shape-shifting abilities. Is he a descendant of Adian and Lysandra?
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, Aelin and Adian could be twins. Same coloring. But Rowan has pine green eyes, and he turns into a hawk, so he also has some form of shape-shifting ability. Could he also be a Roaelin descendant?
All three of these worlds just are like way too connected. It's too much for my brain to handle.
I know. I don't know. Like, those ones are like definitely my more far-fetched ones. Mm-hmm. But like,
I mean,
I cannot.
I mean,
I will
don't know. It would. I feel like we're not ready for the amount of mind blown that we're going to be in this next book.
But I feel like both Roaelin or Lysandra and Adian would F Tamlin up for being an asshole. Like, they'd be like, no descendant of ours. Bud, we'll fix you right up. Because they would not. They would not abide that. The other thing that people think is, like, this isn't necessarily a theory, that people think that this will maybe happen while Bryce is in Prythian. Mm-hmm. So we know that Aelin crosses over into Prythian during Starfall and sees Rhys and Feyre. Rhys says that these are spirits migrating across the sky. What if those spirits are really souls after being fed through gates? And going to hopefully somewhere better, but who knows? Because it happens once a year. It's like a dump of souls. So some think that Bryce will be there for Starfall and possibly see Connor and the pack of devils go across the sky.
I will bawl like a baby if that happens. Also, I do hope they just cross over into a better world. Like,
yeah. I really hope there's like some piece of Danika that.
No.
I know.
Because then, like, Baxian can see her too.
I know. Oh, stop.
Oh, God. Honestly, I'm scared for Baxian if that's going to be our, like, everybody meets their lover in the other land. I don't. Bax. Poor Bax. So, yeah, those are all my theories. Oh, no. I do have one more.
Oh, no. Let's go. Ready. Bring it on, girl.
Oh, God, we're already like 4 hours into it, so you might as well. The last theory is that there are still at least one Dagon, whatever they're called, in Prythian. Well, we know that there's like a few because there's some of those death gods still around, but that is actually an Asteri. So the Illyrians. The Asteri claims that they left this world after creating races that mimic angels.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the Illyrians, the Peregrines, and the Seraphims. Mm-hmm. All of those are flighted, so they could have been testing out which one's best. Mm-hmm. So 2 of them have wings. One have feather wings. One have bat wings. Mm-hmm. And they created them as warriors, like as warrior clans that ended up turning on them and helped push them out. Well, the Illyrians are obviously the most bloodthirsty. So it's believed they have their 3 gods. I can't remember what they are. Corinthus, whatever. The 3 gods that are the 3 stars that go above Romuel, their ancient mountain. So it's believed that the blood rite was actually enacted because that one night a year, all of those Illyrians die out during the blood rite, and their souls can be eaten by the 3 gods that are still there that unite over the top of the mountain every year. Or when they get to the top and they like touch the top or whatever, it like absorbs their power or whatever. But souls are given over, and that really hit home when the Underking is like, well, war just leads to
Death.
more souls, more people for me to eat.
Mm-hmm.
The blood right is a perfect way for every single year to make sure that they are eating the F out of all of these souls.
Whoa.
I feel like my brain hurts just processing all these potentials.
I don't know how I'm going to sleep.
You're not. You're going to be too busy thinking about all these theories that Kayla just freaking dropped on all of us. Oh,
I know. They're good,
my
though.
goodness. Oh,
I can follow some of them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some are definitely more
A lot of them-
far-fetched than others, I think. There's
Yes.
definitely some I'm like, that feels very, very likely. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see which of these actually come
Oh my God.
to fruition.
I can't wait, guys. We are days.
Oh, I
Single
cannot
digits.
Wait for the midnight drop because we're gonna be there. Oh, I'm so
We are.
excited.
We're going to be there. It's just going to be like the willpower to not stay up and just read all night.
The fact we're splitting this book in half is gonna be a challenge.
It's gonna be
to say
hard.
the least.
Because I'm going to want to finish it like
Immediately, especially with
Yeah.
the risk of spoilers, I feel like nowadays. So
Mm-hmm.
that'll be fun. I think that's it for our theories on this episode. So if any of
See
you
how wrong
who
I am.
have listened for this very long podcast, please share your theories. We want to hear them. I want to continue to have my mind blown. You got to tell me before it comes out. I want to know. Please
Mhm.
send.
Not if you have read any of the spoilers. Please,
Agreed.
please don't be that person.
Don't send us
I
anything.
know
for
that
book
it's all
3.
out there.
Don't do that.
Please don't send us any spoilers, but send us your theories.
Yes.
We love theories.
Theories
Mhm.
all day long. All right, guys, that's it for our episode. If you want to join us for Crescent City 3, Part 1 episode, then please tune in 3 weeks from today, February 16th, for our next episode. Also, if you like what you hear, then please share it with your friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast. See you in 3 weeks.